You guys, Jarek the Game and Dragon, and as you may remember, I uploaded some gameplay of The Legend of Spyro: A New Beginning, and I beat that game, uploaded a lot of gameplay of it, and looked it up on the second game. Well, the second game, they didn't make for Xbox in any way whatsoever, which kind of confused me because they made the original one for Xbox, but they didn't make the sequel for Xbox. They made it just for the Wii and the PlayStation 2, which is, I don't know why you do that, but they did. And did research on it, and everyone said that it was criticized a lot because it was too freaking hard. So I'm going to go ahead and just skip the second one. I watched the cutscenes. These are very story-driven, so really you're not missing anything gameplay-wise if you watch the cutscenes. So I watched the cutscenes, I know what's happening in the story, and I'm skipping to the third one, which is the final game in the trilogy of the Spyro reboot. And so far, I'm actually pretty impressed with this one compared to the original. This one is a lot better. But I'm just going to shut up and let you listen to the opening cutscene.
Even in the darkest of times, there is always hope. But sometimes fear clouds our vision. Sometimes our strength gives out. And yet sometimes when all seems lost, a light shines through the darkness. And we are reminded that even the smallest amount of courage can turn the tides of war.
I can't. Get close to me, now!
Spyro, open your eyes. Get up.
Cinder, what happened? Where are we?
I don't know. It's all a blur.
Yeah, me too. My head's pounding.
Shh, wait. That's not your head. I hear it too.
What is that? Sparks! Is that you?
For once, I wish it was. What are they doing?
Let's not stick around to find out. Come on!
Oh, what is your problem? Oh, this can't be good.
Alright, so there you go. There is the first cutscene, and I'm going to play the whole first level here. I may not be talking for the whole level, though, because this is a somewhat long video, and I don't feel like doing a 32-minute long voiceover. Anyway, the first thing you'll probably notice is that Cinder is now running around with you, and that's a big change from the first one. You can now switch in between characters, which actually I really like that. That adds a lot to it. The game itself... Okay, this is one of the few things that they got right that a lot of other companies don't do. A lot of other companies, when they focus on co-op, they specifically make a game for co-op, and then when you're playing it single player, it really feels like you're missing out. And usually if I get a co-op game, obviously I'm going to play it with someone else. Like Fear 3, I was not going to play something like that alone. I was going to play it with, you know, other friends, and it's a lot more fun if you play it cooperatively. I can't speak. It's a lot more fun if you play it in co-op. This game, however, it's set for co-op, like one person can be Spyro and the other one can be Cinder. But if you play it single player, you are not missing anything because both of the dragons are always there, and you can switch in between Spyro and Cinder. And when you are Spyro, Cinder is just kind of, you know, walking around. She does attack, but she doesn't do a whole lot, and she cannot get hurt unless you're that character, which is really good. On top of that, it's just it's something that they added for co-op, but they also said, hey, let's make this playable for single player and make it benefit the person. So I'm happy about that. And one more thing I want to say, when I referred to the original earlier, when I said it's better than the original, I meant the original Legend of Spyro: A New Beginning. I didn't mean the original Insomniac games. These are really hard to compare to the original Insomniac games because they play so differently. As I've said plenty of times before, the original Insomniac games had a much different layout. And up, here comes the enemy boss.
This thing. It's holding us down.
Yeah, they just have such a different layout in the original Spyro games. They have a hub world, and they have a lot of different sub-worlds within that hub world, and you have to collect a whole bunch of gems, and it's an adventure collection game, really. Whereas the later Spyro games are more of a action-adventure type of game, but there's not even an adventure game, I can't say that. It's pretty linear. You have a pretty straightforward way to go. You get from point A to point B to trigger the next cutscene. They make it seem a lot less linear this playthrough. I gotta say that. I'll give them credit for that. Some levels are incredibly hit and miss, though. Some levels are cutscene, or some levels are just incredibly just grinding for so long, and I'll be honest, those levels suck. They're not fun. They're fucking horrible. And then they have other levels, like when you're in Avalar, where you're just flying around and exploring, and it's very Legend of Zelda-esque, like Ocarina of Time, where you have this world and you can fly wherever you want to. And that's great, and I'll be uploading gameplay of that because I was really excited when I saw that, and I was hoping the rest of the game would be like that, and unfortunately it wasn't. But in general, I'm a lot more impressed with this game than I am the earlier ones. So, once again, earlier ones I'm stating, the first Legend of Spyro game, not Insomniac Spyros. So, yeah, it's overall pretty good. So far I've been impressed. As I said, you can switch between dragons. I switched to Cinder. And the game it's a lot of fun. It really is. But as I've said, levels are hit and miss. But then again, so is Halo 1's levels. Levels in Halo are usually very hit and miss. A good example in Halo 1. The first few levels are a lot of fun. The flood levels are freaking horrifyingly bad, especially Library. Oh my god, if I never have to play that level ever again once in my life, I think I will feel fulfilled, because that level was not fun. It's 4 levels of the same freaking corridor over and over where you're fighting the flood, and it's just not fun. And you have to grind your way through it. It's really just grinding levels in the Halos are really the ones that bore me. And ironically with this game, the grinding levels are the ones that bore me as well. And presentation is very good, I'll give them that. The scenery, and there's not much to see here, but the scenery in the presentation in most of the games.
This chain is slowing us down. We can't fight it. We'll have to move in unison. Follow my lead.
Why should you lead?
Uh-oh. Take cover!
Okay, good idea. You lead.
Hey, Spyro! Man, you're alive!
Sparks! It's good to see you too. You okay?
You know, a little stiff. Voice keeps changing, but I'm good.
Hey, this reunion is really touching and everything, but shouldn't we be going? Unless you want to wait for that thing to climb back up. I hate to think what it might do to Sparks.
Who is he?
I don't know. All he said was, "Shh, you're making too much noise."
I like him already.
Anyway, before I got interrupted by the cutscene, the scenery, even with the scenery, if it's being boring, like for instance, let me just make an example. One part in the game, and this was a horrible level at this part in the game, by the way, but at one part in the game, basically you're fighting off hordes of enemies flying at you, not really flying, but just hordes of enemies, and you're on this castle and you have to defend the castle. Cutscenes.
Spyro, Cinder, how do you feel? Anything broken?
Shaken a little, but not too badly. Thanks to you.
I am relieved. I had feared I might be too late. My name is Hunter.
Hunter, you've been tracking me.
For far too long, friend. When you didn't return to the temple, the Elder Dragon, Ignitus, sent me to find you. That was nearly 3 years ago.
What? 3 years? But that's impossible.
Yes. I'm sure this news comes as quite a shock. Forgive me for the brevity of my explanation, but this is not the place to account for missing time. We are not safe here. Follow me.
As I was saying, you're on a castle and there's a giant army attacking the castle. And, you know, it's not graphically, it doesn't look great. The colors are very dull because, I mean, there's war going on, so everything is somewhat dark. But there's, you know, there's lava coming down in the background. The presentation and the whole look of the whole environment looks very, very good. And I guess I give them credit for that. There will be parts in this game where you'll just kind of like stop and look at the environment you're in because it looks very nice. With that said, there's also a little bit of slowdown at times. Really, it's only happened once in one part of the level, and that was when you're in Avalar, and you'll see that in the next video I upload. But yeah, there is some slowdown there, but I installed it to my hard drive, and there was a lot less, but there's still some. So it could have been optimized a little bit better. It's just that's a very large world, and that's the part I've enjoyed the most so far. If it wasn't for that, I don't think I would be as thrilled for this game as...
It's getting closer.
Whew. You go first, Cinder. It's safer. For me. Safer for me, I mean.
Quiet. You'll give us away.
Maybe thrilled is the wrong word to use, but at least happy for this game. At least glad I have it at the moment. But yeah, it's overall a pretty fun game. And there's like I said, there's also been changes. Gliding, it's no longer gliding. You can just completely fly now. So that's pretty sweet. Although there are certain places you can't fly for gameplay reasons, but you can fly now. You don't have to find a power-up just to be able to fly, which is a little annoying. In the earlier games, you had to do that. I was always thinking that. It's like, okay, you're a dragon, you have wings, you can't fly, you have to glide. This doesn't make any sense. But you can fly in this one now. while I'm currently reminded of that, fuck in-game QuickTime events. That is the most annoying bullshit, and I thought developers would have realized, oh hey, look, QuickTime events aren't fun, everyone's bitching about them, no one likes them, let's go ahead and not add them in, but they continue to. At one point, during the Castle Siege level, which is horrible, I think you're in Dragonfang, I believe that's the name of the city you're in, but at one point, you know, you're fighting a boss, and it's a freaking huge grinding out boss, and it's really annoying, takes too much freaking time, and you have to do QuickTime events correctly.
Hunter, give us a moment to gather our strength.
You might want to stand back. This can get weird.
It is fascinating how your kind draws strength from these crystals. Dragons are truly remarkable.
Yeah, you say that now, till one tries to kill you. And by one, I mean her.
I am aware of Cinder's past, but Ignitus trusts her, and that's good enough for me.
Go on, Cinder.
Spyro, as a rare purple dragon, you can wield many abilities that others cannot. Now it is time to awaken these powers within you. Fire, electricity, ice, and earth. Cinder, while most other dragons can master only a single element, your exposure to the darkness has gifted you with abilities most uncommon. Poison, fear, wind, and shadow.
Rublins, be careful.
But yeah, as I was saying, you have to do a giant, you know, boss battle with the same golem, actually. And the whole freaking thing lasts 20 to 40 minutes, or I don't even remember how long it lasted, but it was at least 20 minutes of the level of just grinding out the boss battle with this annoying-ass boss. And, you know, it's a lot of things just dodging and then hitting his hand. And then at the very end of the boss, you have to jump on his hand and do a sequence of QuickTime events in order to actually kill the final boss. And actually, it's not even the final boss of the game, it's just there. And oh my god, you should not have to do that. It's incredibly fucking annoying because all you're doing is grinding, and you're going to win no matter what because it was pretty easy. Just dodge, and when you're dodging, you cannot get hit. If you were in the animation of dodging, even if it did technically hit you, the axe or whatever they use to try to attack you will phase through you and it won't hit you. So yeah, it's incredibly annoying that you have to do a bunch of QuickTime events. And of course, if you push the wrong button, you're going to have to restart those sequence of QuickTime events and dodge his hand, hit it again, and then jump on it, so it's just not fun. Game developers should stop adding that shit into games. Anyway, while we're on the part of powers and whatnot, you should probably see right here I'm using a lot of the powers. They just told you what powers you have, and this is really one of the strong points of the game, actually. The gameplay itself is actually pretty fun. They've added in the grab mechanic, as you see right there. I grab someone, jump in the air. You can also grab them and throw them all over the place, and the grabbing is actually pretty effective. It will hit nearby enemies if you're swinging them around you. The power-ups are definitely something you want to level up, because you have a, not really a level-up tree, but it's somewhat similar. Each power has 3 different levels that you can level up, and you gain new powers within that power, if that makes sense. Say with Spyro's Fire, you gain like a fire charge attack, which is really strong, and with Cinder's fear attack, which that's probably the most useful thing in the game so far. With the fear attack, it will make them cower and not attack you. So it really helps when a lot of enemies are attacking you. It will give you a lot of time to attack back. And when you level that up, it'll be like homing orbs, basically.
These vines block our path. We must get through.
And this is, of course, another one of the functions of the powers, getting through places you normally wouldn't be able to get through. You know, really, this game sort of makes me annoyed. Actually, it really makes me annoyed that what they're doing with the new Spyro game. I honestly don't know why they didn't give it back to the company that made this. And it's because it's not really that bad, it's just new, it's different. And honestly, I really wish Insomniac would come back. Like, if Insomniac came back, that would be the rebirth of Spyro completely. But I wouldn't mind if they made another one of these. Unfortunately, that won't happen as they're making Skylander, and actually they were planning on doing a Spyro movie, but they canceled that in favor of making the Skylander thing, so that's awesome. Anyway, I got about, I don't know, 15 more minutes left of this video, and I don't want to be talking for another 15 minutes, so you guys enjoyed the voiceover I made, and see you guys next video, or at the end of this one.
Hey, over here!
There's a light up there. We must be getting close.
Here, this way. This leads to the surface.
I've never seen one like that before.
Spyro, be careful.
It isn't natural. That crystal radiates with dark magic. Destroy it quickly. We are close to the surface. It's best we remain unheard.
All right, Big Cheetah Man, I get the message. Sheesh.
The horn. It must be part of some sort of locking mechanism.
Honestly, why not just a lock and key like normal folks?
Look around. There must be something we can use to lower it.
I got it.
All right, here we go.
Spyro, hurry up and open this door.
Hurry up and open the door! Open!
This way, quickly.
What was that thing?
There'll be time for that. We'll follow the river. It will lead us to shelter where we can rest. And then we're off to Warfang, the Dragon City, where Ignitus will be expecting us.